a teenager would dominate our leading pacer, Jasprit Bumrah. And one of our leading pacers was struggling.
Uh, if he's gonna play like this, he ain't gonna survive for too long in Test cricket. Because you saw that like he played three back-to-back shots in the same way.
Virat Kohli gave a very good welcome to the youngsters. The 19-year-old Sam Konstas,
All the leading newspapers had Virat Kohli on their front page.
the youngster hitting like 60 or 65 balls. 26 December, the Boxing Day test. India versus Australia at the historic MCG ground. The 19-year-old kid targeting India's leading pacer, Jasprit Bumrah, the headline of tomorrow's Australian newspaper. What do you think, Jay? You were at the ground. What do you think about overall the pitch conditions, the weather conditions? And Australia is known for its bouncy pitches. But looking at today's day one, uh, slight like आकाशदीप जो बॉल कर रहे थे वो एजेस नहीं कैरी हो रहे थे पूरे स्लिप तक तो क्या लगता है
तो बेसिकली पिच में बाउंस था, ऐसा नहीं है कि बाउंस नहीं था. The only difference, the only thing which happened was the Australians were playing with soft hands. They know what's happening, and now it's the fourth test match of this series. They are pretty much experienced right now what exactly Indians are trying to do, and on the basis of that, they were just trying to play it with soft hands. You must have seen there are no slip dismissals in this game, which is quite surprising because if you see when Indians go to bat, they'll be having few wickets of us.
I think most of them were trying to drive the ball. Like if you see overs bowled by Akashdeep, they were trying to drive the ball, but the ball was not carrying to the slips. Like Virat Kohli was,
Yeah,
it was carrying one bounce to the slip fielder. And do you think
yeah.
the
It
bounce is a kind of a certain surprise at the MCG?
this pitch is quite different. I know this ground is iconic, but it 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 doesn't react every time. So the curators have done a good job because the ball is bouncing. I'm not going to say that the ball isn't bouncing properly. It's just that Australians were playing. If you try to play it with soft hands, the ball doesn't carry easily. And if you've seen the two to three dismissals that Rishabh Pant took some catches, it happened because it was a good short ball or the ball bounced really well. And we got it because of that. Mitch Marsh tried to play a pull shot and he nicked it and Rishabh Pant got it. You must have seen that there is a bounce.
Same got the same shot was with Usman Khwaja where it got to the bottom edge and catch gaya KL Rahul के हाथ में.
Yes. Yes. This is what I'm saying. There is a bounce. Uh, the bounce is good. It's just that Australians are hungry to win this contest. That's the thing.
You are talking about the hunger of the Australians. Today's MCG is a kind of historic ground. Always it has been and one of the historic grounds. We as teenagers are following cricket right from our childhood. But did you think like a teenager would dominate our leading pacer, Jasprit Bumrah? And one of our leading pacers was struggling. That I felt that when Rishabh Pant used to face James Anderson and he used to reverse sweep him for six, I felt the same moment with us today. What do you think? You were present at the ground, and what was the whole atmosphere there?
So apparently, when Sam Konstas, very promising youngster, I've seen him practicing in the nets. I did see him practice 2 days before as well in the nets. And Pat Cummins, Australian coach Andrew McDonald, and a lot of senior players were having chat with him. Uh, the team's atmosphere was quite positive, even though they dropped Nitin McSweeney, who was opening before Sam Konstas. So one good thing with Sam Konstas is he has only played 7 or 8 domestic games. That guy doesn't have a lot of pressure in his mind, which, and he's a free bird right now, to be honest. He has nothing to lose. Debuting at the Boxing Day, against team like India, uh, you he showed that he wants to do something new. He apparently when a new guy is standing, bowlers try to create a pressure on him. This guy, even though he struggled in the first few deliveries, he was struggling to play the scoop shot. And he recently played BBL.
But I think he switched to the
But
T20 mode to Bumrah.
yeah, and that was really important for him to boost his confidence. But But the only thing is, uh, if he's gonna play like this, he ain't gonna survive for too long in Test cricket. For audience, it's quite good. It's entertaining. We get to see quick runs scored in Test cricket. For starting, like he's starting his career right now, and playing Bumrah like that with that audacity, very few people can do that. Uh, but because you saw how Bumrah made a comeback later on. That's something with Sam Konstas is that guy's really confident. It's just that technique can be a issue. And you see when he comes to bat in the second innings, we might see some fielders at the third man or at the fine leg, things like that might happen. Because Bumrah is a very smart bowler. This happened with him once because you saw that like he played three back-to-back shots in the same way, in the same over
Same over.
against Bumrah.
Yeah.
Against Bumrah, not a easy thing to do.
So I think whenever we as Indians or our youngster has played in Australia, they've always got bullied or they've got a great welcome, very different language. But today I saw Virat Kohli gave a very good welcome to the youngsters, the 19-year-old Sam
Yeah.
Konstas. What do you think? Was it a great gesture or just the like एक banter था?
You can do this thing later on as well because I understand it's very important to keep the heat between both the teams. But see, there are a lot of things going on that Kohli did it deliberately, and now the matter is into ICC's hands. It's a big news that has came up after the incident. So
I think
it is
Ricky
also
Ponting
said,
also spoke about that Virat Kohli he didn't welcome the youngster very well. But I think Ricky Ponting should also remember the tour which Harbhajan Singh had came for debut. I think he did the same with Harbhajan Singh. So
yeah,
everything is
I'm
well
not
on the
saying,
ground
yeah,
and that should stay on the
yeah,
ground. It must not be like
yeah,
जानबूझ के किया होगा, but कुछ भी
yeah.
चीजें as a sportsman वो रखनी चाहिए.
See, it's not personal. There are people who idolize Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is a brand in Australia, not just in India. If you see the if you Google the recent newspaper things which happened in Australia, all the leading newspapers had Virat Kohli on their front page. They know who that guy is, what that guy can do. Virat Kohli is a big brand, but the only thing is that could have been avoided. I'm not saying because see, heat heat of the moment it goes on. We see DSP Siraj doing a lot of things a lot of time, which is quite normal. It's just that
I think I
Usman Khwaja,
shouldn't get heated much now. That whatever Kohli has
yeah,
said, it was just a point, like a heat of a moment, if we can say, or maybe just a
yeah,
gesture. You are hitting us.
yeah,
Maybe
no,
I can show that
it,
attitude to
it
you.
yeah, it was heat of the moment because even young Sam Konstas did replied him back by saying, "Come on, mate,"
Yeah.
which shows he's taking it positively. It's just that he's young right now. So yeah,
India coming to the Boxing Day test, the squad changing, adding a spinner to the squad, Ashwin retiring the previous game. What do you think? Bringing two spinners in the squad and removing one batsman, Subman Gill, was it a bold decision by Rohit Sharma and the team management?
I guess it's a bold decision by the team management. Yeah, but one good thing is like as I told you, the wicket is dry. Uh,
So
Maybe
India can
probably
bat deeply.
tomorrow.
India can bat
Yeah,
deeply.
yeah, and Jadeja, Washington, both are lefties, and someone needs to support Nitish Kumar in the end because the 21-year-old guy has taken a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and he needs someone
Also
now.
holding one
Uh,
bowling end, not giving a lot of runs. He's also holding
yeah,
one end, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think,
Still
yeah, yeah,
I still don't consider Nitish Kumar as a bowler. It's just that he can bat really well. He
yeah, yeah.
he's a much better batter as compared to
I think
a
his
lot of
youngster
players I've seen.
has to grow a lot in the coming years.
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah,
quickly summarize the three sessions that were played today. The session one, I think there were a lot of runs scored in the first session. Like if you see
yeah,
at lunch, there were what about 112 for one. Like
yeah.
the youngster hitting like 60 or 65 balls and Khwaja also hitting. So did you think that the match could have slipped from us in the first session itself?
Yeah, see, the way first session went, it we India did made a good comeback. I should say that this thing by the third session. It's just that the first session was Australia's session totally, and I'm not gonna deny it. Use and one good thing is Khwaja kept his patience. Sam Konstas kept his patience. For the first, I thought that Khwaja not taking the strike on the first ball is the most stupidest thing he could have done. But now I know how confident Sam Konstas was. So huge respect to him, even though he's still in the learning phase, has nothing to lose. And remember one thing, Yash. Uh, First session, it was in Australia's favor. Second session, India started making comeback. Third session was fairly balanced because in the end, Steve Smith and Pat Cummins did survived,
I
and
think in
Steve
the
Smith,
second and third session, if you compare, the second session was 60 odd runs in the session. 25,
yeah,
26 overs were bowled, and only 60 runs
yeah,
scored. Like half the runs, like for if you compare with the first session, the runs were dried up. The wickets
yeah,
were not
yeah,
coming, but one wicket, we get one wicket of Khwaja, which was an unlucky dismissal. But I think India was back in the game. But
yeah, yeah. We,
after tea, Smith and Labuschagne started to dominate. They started to
yeah,
playing strokes. So I think the
yeah,
field break played its role by having three quick wickets.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm
The
saying.
mighty
That's what I'm
head.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was. See, even I expected Travis had concert at the MCG, but it didn't happen. Travis said Bumrah bowled brilliantly, and that's what a lot of experts also said before the game that you need to be aggressive from the first ball itself when you're bowling to Travis Head.
If you see the ball to Travis Head by Jasprit Bumrah, it came
Yeah,
him like it was a kind of in swinger ball to him. Like he thought
yeah, yeah.
it could go either ways, but the ball came in. So did you think that
The
the old ball had started reverse swinging?
yeah, it. I won't say it was reverse swinging properly, but you know, Kokobo right functions very differently as compared to the SG test balls that I use in India. Bumrah was hitting the deck. That's what he did. He was quite aggressive. You see that was the most smoothest dismissal I saw in the game. Because if you compare to the rest other batters, they were unlucky the way they got dismissed. That was the best ball which Bumrah had, I should say. He hit the deck, got him out for duck. That's why India still are in the game, I should say.
So do you think
And I'm
600
and
is
I'm
coming
telling
up?
you this thing, big 100.
A big 100 is coming off Steve Smith tomorrow? Or maybe
I
we
I
should
re-
wrap them under 350?
I reckon that guy will score because he's hungry right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the key to India winning this test match is to wrap them tomorrow by early as possible, as early as possible. Because that will keep us
Yeah.
in the
If
game. Because after crossing
yeah,
50, the psychological game starts. And it is very difficult for
yeah,
India to chase down that and then give a lead. Maybe looking at our
yeah,
batting order right now and the batting conditions, what our players
yeah,
are going through, it is difficult that if it goes about 350, it will be a difficult challenge for Team India.
yeah. So what I think from India's perspective is Indians will try to get them out in the first session itself. Then we have two sessions. India needs to make sure that they bat like the key players of Indian team should be there because now there's a
The
confusion
two
that
senior
who will
guys
be
will
the
step
number
up. This
three.
is the time they step up.
Yeah, yeah. This is the time they should step up because I don't know who's gonna bat at number three. That's a big question from India's end right now
Okay. So it's
because they got
unknown
in two
and we don't
spinners.
know. We don't know about it.
Yeah, we don't know about it, so we have to wait and watch. But India needs to have like good players, like all the key players. I'm not saying that. See, you know how Australians function. We should only like if India has to win, they have to survive the whole day.
I think
Day
the
two.
first
That's how.
20 overs are very important for India by not losing a
Yeah, yeah,
wicket. Just staying in the
yeah,
wicket and just playing shots, not driving
yeah.
it, defense, and 1 or 2 runs is okay. It's fine.
Yes, yes, yes,
I think the
yes.
openers have a great job to do tomorrow, and I hope they are going to do that. We are hoping that our openers will do the job for us. It is this time that
Yes,
since the senior players step up, the openers step up, and we have a great partnership in the match.
yes, of
What do you-
course. It's.
Yeah,
I think a big 100 is coming up from Indian team as well. It can be anyone. Um,
King Kohli
because
is also hungry.
two,
Big
two,
100.
yeah, 2 days before I saw Kohli saying this to the bowlers in the nets. That video also went quite viral. Like he's asking Harshit Rana to bowl him outside off, to bowl him outside off continuously. He is working on that. If Smith can be at his best, then this guy is king.
King Kohli should be at his best. So,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
summarize the overall day one, like the 19-year-old hitting our target bowler, Jasprit Bumrah, the Kohli Konstas, kind of a small banter, having a lot of edges and not carrying it to the slip. Did India had a unlucky day?
I won't say India had an unlucky day. They got Travis Head out for a duck. Uh, I would say it was a struggling day. Plus, it was 40 degrees in Melbourne. So they were the players who were actually performing at the ground. India did made a good comeback. Talking about day two, the weather is fine. It might be cloudy conditions. I am not gonna say overcast. It will be cloudy, and you know what happens when it's cloudy. So India needs to make sure they don't lose quick wickets. And Virat Kohli needs to leave the off-stump ball. That's it.